Welcome back to the Chain Wrestling Flow Roll, and standing in front of me, my dance partner for this session, for the first time ever, a New Zealand pro wrestler in Kurt Brown. And look, if you're unfamiliar with Kurt's name, he's only been in the game for less than a year. Made his debut September of 2024, which makes him the least experienced chain wrestling flow roller that I've had so far. But Kurt has some great foundations, some incredible mentors over in New Zealand. He's already wrestled for New Japan Tamashii, for Fale Dojo, and he showed his commitment to learn by flying all the way from New Zealand to Perth, and that was solo. So the longest of anyone who attended, the longest flight time, longest trip, and the entire time he was just a sponge for knowledge. He just wanted to learn more, wanted to grapple more, wanted to, see different styles of doing things and take in as much as he could, which I thought was admirable. And of course, he asked me to roll, and I was all too happy to oblige. And real quick, you may notice the aesthetics a little bit different to my usual flow rolls. Quite simply, we had a few tech issues, but Kurt was filming on the outside as well with his own camera, and I kind of liked the viewpoint. Gave it a different feel, a little bit more candid, so we went with this one. Hope you enjoy. So just locking the arm now, but there's not a whole lot of counters for that, so I switched out into the hammerlock just for ease, a little bit of a feeling out process. I wasn't 100% sure what he had in the toolbox in terms of chain wrestling. I hadn't actually rolled around with him at any point until this moment, so I try to keep it nice and simple. Very fundamental holds to begin with. But he throws a flip in there, and then I realize that we are definitely playing chess, not checkers. Just into a little reverse drop toe hold, which allows really easy access for the ankle lock that I have locked on right now. But then crossing the legs into one of my favorite modified death locks. Ring positioning was a bit tough on that one, so I tried to make the roll as short as possible. Yeah, ending up in this little groin stretch, which is kind of hard to escape. He did a good job of problem solving. We did go through some problem solving principles in the camp the day prior. So he did a good job of kind of fighting the grips and figuring his way out, and I don't think it looked too bad in the end. Now going through with a Fujiwara armbar, rolling out to reverse the pressure, or at least escape the pressure. And then using this hammerlock, squeezing the hamstrings, locking the arm in while I get the chin lock. And then rolling through with that lucha-inspired cradle. Always a little bit of banter during these sessions. Straight away there, I locked on my figure 4 grip, very similar to the Kimura, just to break the hold, and then always staying connected to that arm. Kurt again using the same rollout, and then attacking the leg here. Doing his mentors proud, going for the Boston Crab here, classic young lion style. I feel like the Boston Crab escapes are quite limited without getting the ropes. Rolling through is tough, but it's one of the only ways out, and we find ourselves stuck on the rope, so we reset and go again. There, I'm just getting that bicep tie to prevent him from getting the collar with his left hand. And then I used a quick arm drag there to get a back take. Stepping around into a mat return. I was very, very nice on the way down. Chose not to slam him. Kurt's sitting out, but I've got a seatbelt grip. 1 over, 1 under. Turning out to the front headlock. I was walking around thinking about the sucker drag, which I have shown on my channel before, but ended up just doing the sit through escape into a front headlock of my own. We go into a few gator rolls, or I guess crocodile rolls, now that we are in Australia. Taking the back there, I've got the handcuff with my right hand, so just reaching with the underhook and then hooking the forearm, which is a good way to eliminate the arm as a defense mechanism. And then I transfer over to an armbar. Kurt's trying to stack me now. Ideally, he wants to switch his legs around on that one to get a proper stack, but he was able to come through with the headlock. and just scooting my feet towards him so that I can roll him up. If you bring your feet towards them and bridge, it takes all of the weight off them, which makes it really easy to roll opponents no matter how heavy they are. Well, obviously not too heavy, but within reason. Went for it again. This time I kept going through with the motion, which allowed for this armbar. So as soon as your right leg's over the head, you're pretty much free to grab the arm. Went for what I call the row your boat arm break. So reaching across to the opposite side, scooping the tricep, rowing the boat towards yourself. Kurt stacking. His knee was in the right position that time, so that was a far better stack. And you'll notice that I was stacked over my neck rather than turning to the side, so that was much more effective. There I just captured the leg with a bit of a Kosoto hook and half guard underhook, which allowed me to scoot around into side control position. I've got a low side mount there, which makes it easy to get into the full mount. Just messing around a little bit here, seeing what's what. Kurt went for a bit of a bridge there, which is always a good defense. Usually we say that the best defense is attacking. If you keep attacking, then they're not going to be attacking you. They're usually thinking about holding position or even defending what you're throwing at them. Just got a shotgun armbar there. So instead of using my hands on his wrist, I've placed his arm underneath my armpit. It's a bit of a stronger grip for the armbar at times. So like I said, he's a talented dude. You know, for someone who is less than 12 months in the game, he has no business being as technically savvy as he already is. So I'm very excited to see his progress in years to come. It's refreshing to see the foundations laid really well from the beginning. And here I just got a body lock and then switching my legs to the other side so that the guillotine choke is no longer a threat, which also allows me to isolate the arm here for the Kimura, leg over the head. But I decided to bring him up into this dorsal Kimura position. The armbar's right there if I need it, but I chose to go to a head scissors.